you doing this weekend?
Going to the beach with some buddies.
Dude, sunscreen. You've already got quite the tan.
Oh, no, she didn't. Ooh, that's an evil white girl. This is not going to go well for her. That's a microaggression. No.
Where's your family from?
The dreaded question. The thing you're not allowed to ask ever of anybody who is not of European ancestry, because you shouldn't show interest in anyone's life other than people who are European.
Here.
Yeah, but before here, where are they from?
Still here.
But before that.
A few generations from here.
So this guy is tarded, quite literally tarded. Not even joking a little bit. He knows what she's asking. I mean, everybody knows. He can tell by the look on his face. He knows what she's asking him. And it's obvious that she is of European ancestry. At least she appears to be. Maybe she's not. I remember a few years ago, the black girl crying about how she had European ancestry even though she was black. So this guy might be partially European, might be, maybe from Greece, but he looks more like he's probably Middle Eastern or something like that. Maybe Hispanic. But yeah, there's no telling, and it's fine for a person to ask that and say, hey, yeah, I was curious about your ancestry, because you're obviously not European. There's nothing wrong with asking that. But that is the dreaded microaggression, discrimination. So recently, I took my company's harassment and discrimination training that I'm supposed to do every year. I didn't do it last year because it wasn't offered last year. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube unsubscribes people every single day. Today we will be getting to the weekly moment of woke at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Now let's take a look at some of the gems that I had in this training. You're going to love this. You're never going to believe what you're going to see in here. So the first thing we got is balance family questions. It can be thoughtful to ask someone how their children, spouse, or parents are doing, but be conscious of whether these questions are predominantly directed to women. It can unintentionally reinforce the notion that only women value family over work, which can harm women in the workplace. How does this harm women in the workplace? I mean, seriously. And besides which, everybody should just follow my rule, which is, women should put in the effort to try and be at home with their children. Women should be the caregivers of the home. I mean, that's just makes rational sense. But what do I know, right? I'm just discriminating against everybody all the time, apparently. Here are some examples of things you're not allowed to discriminate against that are against the law to discriminate against here. Age, genetic information. What the heck is genetic information? Can you define that for me? Because everything about me is genetic, you could say. I could make that argument. National origin. Citizenship and immigration status. All right, if a person is an illegal immigrant, they're not even allowed to work in the country. How is that even going to be made into a lawsuit, really? Pregnancy, race, color, religion, disability, sex. There was another one on the list, but I don't remember what it is, and I don't even really care. Why isn't sex included in genetic information? The benefits of diversity. Look at this. You get the benefits of diversity. Discrimination in the workplace isn't just unfair, it also prevents organizations from becoming as successful as they can be. Hiring and supporting a diversity of employees benefits everyone. Explore the ways in which diversity strengthens workplace culture. Creativity. Different identities lead to different perspectives, which can mean more creativity in brainstorming and problem-solving sessions. Can it? Do you have proof of that? Innovation. Workplaces with more diversity are 1.7 times more likely to be innovation leaders in their fields. Okay, can you show me where you got those statistics from and what the methods of gathering that information is? And what kind of diversity you're referring to? Efficiency. A Harvard Business Review study showed that diverse teams are able to solve problems faster than cognitively similar people. Oh, at least they cite the source. Harvard Business Review. You can look that up. I mean, I'm not saying that you should, but I'm just saying I just want to get through this this really fun diversity training. It's insane. Revenues. A McKinsey and Company report showed that diverse workplaces are more likely to outperform their rivals. Again, at least they cited their source. I'd like to see more information on this. Engagement. A Deloitte analysis showed that workplaces with diverse, inclusive employees had higher engagement and were better able to retain talent. Okay, so this isn't a problem then. Everybody's worked this out already, it sounds like. Reputation. Workplaces that prioritize diversity are seen in a more positive light than those that don't, including by members of majority groups. Well, I'm a member of the majority group in the United States, and workplaces that prioritize diversity are garbage and should be stopped now because they're harming the United States. They are harming this country because they want to have quotas over talent. They don't care about talent. They care about quotas regarding this diversity stuff. That doesn't even matter. The spectrum of harassment. Look at this. We have the biracial person here. We had to talk about this one because it's kind of easy. We're going to dip our toe in with an example of a biracial person being discriminated against. This is talking about microaggressions. A biracial employee is asked about her ethnic heritage far more often than her white colleagues are. Right, exactly. Where do white people come from? Europe. Where do people of other skin colors come from? Could be a lot of different places. A large portion of Asia, for example. A large portion of North America and all of South America, basically. They could be a Native American, or they could be mixed. Like, this is biracial, right? So you're not going to know where this person comes from. You're not going to understand their ethnicity. And besides which, who cares? If you know what? If I see a biracial person at my work, I do not give a rat's ass about that person. I don't give a rat's ass about 99% of the people that I work with. Everybody's like, hey, look, you're not diverse enough. Hey, look, you're white, so therefore you're bad. Okay, well, that's ridiculous because I'm not bad because I'm white. I might be bad, but it's not because I'm white. And this training was actually discriminatory against white people. It was. They had a little video skit thing that they were doing in this office. It was like the most diverse office in the entire history of offices. They had all these different people from different races working there. They had 2 white people working there. Guess who the bad guys were? Guess who they were? They were the white guys. The white guy, and there was a white girl too. Both of them were the bad guys. The baddies.
Are we the baddies?
Discriminatory jokes. You can't even tell jokes at work. You can't tell jokes at work. If you hear discriminatory sounding jokes, don't laugh or join in. Instead, try saying, not cool, this isn't funny, or try an eye roll or loud sigh. Why don't you try minding your own business? If there's 2 people telling a joke between the 2 of them, it's none of your business. So why don't you just go ahead and get back to work and not bother other people while they're trying to do their job? Here's an example of a joke that's inappropriate. Greg and Winan are talking in the break room where many people are eating. Greg begins speaking loudly in a stereotypical Chinese accent, and Winan is smiling. Nobody is saying anything or even seems to notice. They all just keep doing what they're doing. Say something. This is the correct answer. I got it right. Say something. Mocking an accent is offensive. It might be hurtful to other people within earshot or even Winan. If you're uncomfortable, the chances are that others are too. Mocking an accent is offensive, and intervening is the right thing to do. People being offended makes me uncomfortable. Makes me very uncomfortable. So, are there other people who are uncomfortable by the perpetually offended? Again, this is an example of mind your own business. And people have been making fun of the Midwestern accent and the Southern United States accent for generations now, and nobody said a thing about it. Because, hey, we're not the protected group. You're allowed to make fun of us. We're getting into pregnancy now, right? You're in the cafeteria with 2 colleagues, Jessica and Kim, who is Asian. Jessica sees Kim's phone background. It's a picture of her and her husband. Jessica says, "Ooh, your husband's white. He's good looking. You 2 have to have lots of babies. Half Asian babies are the cutest." Intervene. Kim might have felt uncomfortable about Jessica making comments about her race, her husband's appearance, or the prospect of having children. What about her husband's race? I mean, Kim's race is it's an offensive thing to talk about her race, but her husband's race. Sometimes even something intended as a compliment can be derogatory or make someone uncomfortable, even if they smile. So I started working at a very small company, and there was a woman there named Kim. She worked part-time. She worked 1 day a week. She's a very nice lady. I really appreciate her working there. And who was the other guy? I don't remember the other guy's name. He worked there. He was a good guy to me, too. Everybody else there was shit scum. That's all they were. They were shit scum. Because they all treated me like I was the worst human being in the entire world. The first day that I met Kim, we were doing a lot of work together, and we walked in from outside. We had taken some stuff outside to throw away, and we walked back in, and she was telling me about her miscarriage. This is a topic that she brought up. This is a topic that she was comfortable talking to me about. The other people who heard us talking about this went to management and said I was inappropriately asking her about her miscarriage. It is none of their damn business. These people, man, those people were just, like I said, shit scum. All right. More pregnancy stuff. Hey, what do you know? You can't discriminate against pregnant people. They're pregnant people. They're birthing peoples, right? They are not women. Women don't have babies. Birthing people do. Don't you know? They're trying to make that law, by the way. You overheard Adia talking to Lucy, who has recently announced she's pregnant. Adia knows that Lucy is married to a woman, Zainab. Wait, Adia says. So how did you get pregnant then? Was it like a friend or a donor or something? Did you do IVF? And now the correct response to this is intervene. Those questions are a little invasive. It's inappropriate for Adia to ask a colleague invasive medical questions. Okay, then, those are not invasive medical questions. Invasive medical questions are like, dude, what's wrong with your uterus? Do you have like such and such disease? Did you get a sex change? Those are invasive medical questions. This is just like, hey, you talked about you being pregnant. I'd like to know how you did it. Did you get a man? You know, what'd you do? How'd you do it? That's not invasive. And if the person is offended by that, they need to be fired. That's just how it should work. The spectrum of potential harassment. It's likely that you will be able to tell when overt harassment occurs and know when to intervene. But when harassment is subtle, it's harder to determine whether to get involved. Disparaging comments based on stereotypes. I put this in here as an example of them using the Latinx word. Latinx. I have a feeling that's somebody who got confused about what a lynx was. So they're like, it's like a lynx, it's a Latinx. They're talking about cats. That's what I assume, Latinx. An employee sees a Latinx colleague yawning after lunch. Once the Latinx employee is out of earshot, she says to another colleague, you know how those people need their siestas. Yeah. Suppose those Latinx people. You know, Italians must be Latinx too because they have siestas in Italy. Didn't know. Hey, the more you know. Jim is working on a project with his colleague Santiago, who is Latinx. And Jim says Santiago's new haircut makes him look like a member of a violent street gang. Is this a warning sign? The correct answer is yes, because apparently Jim is assuming that Santiago might be part of a dangerous street gang because he's Latinx. That was what the result of this question was. Yeah, you know, you can be part of a dangerous street gang no matter what race you are. Did you know that? You know, there's a show I've been watching a little bit when I have some time called Warrior. It's about, I think it's 1878 San Francisco and the Asian gangs that developed there when the Chinese were coming over to build the railroads. So, Asian people can be part of dangerous street gangs. What do you know? Who would have thought? It's not just Latinx people who can do that. Wow, it's amazing. It's like people have like full range of abilities, no matter what they look like. And you know, this Latinx thing, it came up another time in the little training. It's just ridiculous. How about we use the word Hispanic, because that is already a gender neutral version of Latino or Latina. And yeah, there's a problem with this. I'm going to talk about this for a minute here because you do realize that most languages that come out of, I think even all languages that come out of Latin, are gendered languages. So I don't speak Spanish, but I'm going to guess here. If you speak Spanish, you can correct me down in the comments. You have la and le and los and las. Those are different versions of the for male and female in Spanish. Now, I studied German, so they have der, die, das. Those are three versions of the word the. There's a couple others. Those are in an order: male, female, and neuter. Der, die, das. Der is male, die is female. Now you can say, oh, look, they have das. You can just change everything over to neuter in German, and we're good to go. Look at that. German's all set up and ready to go. Yeah, well, you know what? English used to have the same thing. They used to have several different versions of the word the. I think thera and se. Thera and se is masculine Old English. And there's some dialects in the United Kingdom that even still use se as the word the, or something very similar to that. Now, you know, I'm saying, see, look, English did it. English took on the word the, and now we just use the word the. It's great. It's amazing. I don't even know what gender the is. I don't know. I haven't been able to figure it out. I've looked into it a little bit. I can't figure out if the was even used before we decided to get rid of genders in the English language. As I was saying, we can just easily, you know, we can switch German over, for example, to non-gendered. It has das as its neuter the. Yeah, but English switched over to non-gendered when there were fewer than 500 million people living on the earth. Yeah, we got 16 times that many people living here. We got millions of manuscripts written using gendered language in German. We have hundreds of thousands of websites. We have hundreds of thousands, if not a million, movies in German using Der, Die, and Das, using the different versions of the. You have millions of Germans, millions of people speaking German in more than one continent. I think there's at least one or two countries in South America where German is one of the primary languages they speak. German is prominent in some places in Africa too. It's not just European. So you're going to go in and change this language now? There was not even a printing press when we changed English into a gender neutral language. So what are you going to do? I mean, you can't just go around changing these things and expecting people to buy into it, to decide it. But you know what? They're taking little baby steps. And you're going to tell me that if I call somebody a Latino at my work, they're going to be that's illegal now? That's what they're trying to push this for? The Latinx is going to be the legal version of Hispanic? It's Hispanic. You guys are idiots. You don't even know. Take it away, Yao and me.
Before the class, they say, let's go through what you want to be called, your pronouns. And my English is not that good. I sometimes mistakenly call him or she, and then they start asking me to say they, and then I don't know how to incorporate in my English that pronoun properly. And it makes me so nervous to talk in the classroom.
And she's not the only one who's confused by all this. I was born and raised in America, speaking American English, and I'm confused by it. I have no idea what you people are talking about. It's he or she. All right? Drive me up a freaking wall with this garbage. Ah, yes, sex assigned at birth. Did you know that typically health professionals label infants as male or female after a cursory examination of their external physical characteristics? The law generally prohibits discrimination based on sex assigned at birth. But what if that person doesn't identify with that sex assigned? I'm told I'm told that I have to honor that. Well, what happens then? Oh, we got this here. Cisgender, transgender, non-binary. Doctors assign babies a sex/gender at birth, typically by looking at the baby's anatomy. It's a really good way of doing it, by the way. Some children grow up to match these expectations and are called cisgender, or for short, sissies, because, you got to be able to put them down as much as possible. Transgender people have an assigned birth sex/gender that does not match their actual gender identity. It is also possible for someone to grow up and feel like neither a man nor a woman. The umbrella term for this is non-binary and includes many different genders. Really? So I got a lot of people watching this video. I don't know about a lot. I got a few people anyway watching this video. Can you please go down in the comments and tell me what gender you are and describe to me what it feels like to be that gender? I'm a man. I've always been a man, as far as I can tell, even though I have low T. Yeah, so I can't tell you what it feels like to be a man. Do you know why? I have no frame of reference. What the hell is wrong with these people? I don't feel like I'm a woman. Well, too bad you are. No, I don't feel like it. I feel like I'd be happier as a man. Okay, well, you're still a woman. Doesn't mean that you can't feel like you'd feel happier as a man. You're still a woman. Can you describe to me what it feels like to be a woman?
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
I can't describe to you. I've never been a woman. And I certainly can't describe to you what it's like to be a man because I don't know the difference. Choosing medical treatment. If a person's body does not align with their gender identity, they may choose to undergo medical treatment such as hormone therapy, gender affirmation surgery. But keep in mind that not all trans or non-binary people want this. And not everyone who wants it can access this kind of treatment. Maybe they're just individuals who are uncomfortable in their own skin, and so we should treat them like individuals. What a concept. And lastly, we have this. Avoid gendered language. Sorry, if you're Hispanic, you can't talk in Spanish. You just can't do it. Germans? Oh, nope. I think the French have it too. Sorry. You guys can't. Italians, I think, also have it. Portuguese. You can't speak your language at work. There are many ways you can make your language more inclusive to people of all genders. Instead of, hey guys, try hey everyone. Instead of using he or she when you don't know someone's gender, try they. Also, be careful not to equate gender with physical changes. say pregnant people instead of pregnant woman. No, only women can get pregnant. And if you like go and have some sort of surgery to kind of modify your body or take some sort of hormone to modify your body, but you're pregnant, you're still a woman. That's just how it works. You can pretend like it doesn't work that way all you want to, but that's how it works. Now we have the cherry on top, emotional intelligence. Do you know what emotional intelligence actually is? Agreeableness. So if you agree with somebody, oh, you're right, you're good. Oh yeah, they'll think you have high emotional intelligence. That's pretty much all that it comes down to. There's more to it than that, and I will tell you right now that it comes down to the ability to navigate social situations. That's really it. In Dungeons & Dragons, you got an 18 charisma. Hey, guess what? You got high emotional intelligence. That's how it works. Emotional intelligence is stupid, and it should be based on, you should just base your opinions of people on the words that they say factually. Did he speak the truth? Yes, he did. Did he sugarcoat it? No, he didn't. Okay, well, he's still a good person because he spoke the truth. A positive workplace depends on colleagues who are prepared to separate people from their actions. Oh, really? Oh, really? And who are prepared to use their talents and opportunities to help others. So separate people from their actions. Oh, Hitler wasn't a bad guy. I mean, he only wanted to kill the Jews. That's not bad. He wanted to kill other people besides the Jews, trust me. But separating people from their actions. Oh, yeah, that mass murderer, he's okay. He's fine. He's a good guy. Oh, that guy over there who goes around burglarizing homes. Those actions don't matter. He's a good guy. We shouldn't put him in jail. And that's, truly what is happening in this country. We're not allowed to prosecute people anymore.
You got to understand the people behind those actions. They're good people. They're trying to do the right thing. They just can't for, it's society that's causing them to do this stuff. Don't you know?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. This society causes people to break the law. They still have to be punished for it. Got to punish somebody for breaking the law. Not punishing me unless I've done it. So I complained about this. I complained about the training. Now, this is just a tiny fraction of what this whole training was. It was hours and hours long. I complained about it. I went to my HR and said, hey, you know what? This is discriminatory. And they passed it along to the company, Everfi. And let me read to you the wonderful message they sent back to me.
Good afternoon, Dean. Thank you for expressing your concern about the training course content. I will be forwarding your thoughts to the vendor for consideration when we construct a new course. Although you may feel this appears to be discriminatory, I assure you it is not illegal. I would not attempt to interpret how this course is constructed. I know it is vetted by employment attorneys and passed muster. Again, thank you for pointing this out. I am forwarding this to the vendor. Enjoy your afternoon.
Yeah, well, it has been vetted by employment attorneys. Well, I've out-argued attorneys before. I've out-argued a judge, even. So, attorneys and judges are experts in their field, but they're not perfect. And if you're an intelligent person who understands right from wrong, you can out-argue them. And these attorneys don't know discrimination when they see it. They wouldn't know discrimination from a hole in the head because it was highly discriminatory. Against white people, of course, but that's okay because that's indoctrinated in us from the time we are basically born in this country. It's okay to discriminate against white people. It's all right, it's fine. So they don't even recognize it's happening when it is happening. So next year when I take this training again, I might just file a lawsuit. You never know. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the weekly moment of woke. The Breeze opinion, including women in the draft, isn't feminist. Are you sure about that? Because last time I checked, women were just as strong and capable as men. Remember, they don't need no man. They need a man like a fish need a bicycle. What does this thing say? Federal Judge Gary Miller of the Southern District of Texas proclaimed that an all-male military draft is unconstitutional on February 24, 2019. The decision nullified the court ruling that justified a male-only draft in 1981. The reasoning for this 1981 case was that women were considered ineligible for combat roles. Hey, they're in combat roles now, today, so why aren't they being drafted? Judge Miller further stated the average woman could conceivably be better suited physically for some of today's combat positions than the average man, depending on which skills the position required. Combat roles no longer uniformly require sheer size or muscle. While this may be true, women being mandated to register for the draft might be contradictory to feminists' goals. See how you think? See, the thing with the feminazis is that they only want the advantage. They do not want equality. They want the advantage. They want to lord over men their position of power. That's what they want. We see this. It's so obvious. And this is the quintessential example of them wanting power instead of equality. I don't want women in the military, period. And you know what? I've talked to military men, active military men, who are like, women should not be in the military. They are a distraction to the men, and they're not as capable as the men are. There's no reason to put them into harm's way, especially if they're taken prisoner. You know what's likely to happen to them, which is could happen to men too, but it's less likely to happen. It's just a no-brainer. Why would you put the important section of the population, the section of the population that is required for perpetuating the population, into harm's way? Why would you do that? Doesn't make any sense to me. Women need to focus on family. It's the right thing to do. Somebody has to focus on work. I would like to say, hey, everybody should focus on family, but somebody still has to bring home the bacon. So it should be the man doing that while the woman focuses on the family. Anyway, that is all I got for this time. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate everybody stopping by my channel and supporting my work. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.